Do you remember, Ryan, when you told me a story when you were trying to find out how much that ICAP trader earned? And they said, mind your own.
Yeah. I was like working at, it was like a little 1 week internship on like a trading floor. And I asked this guy how much commission he makes on his trades. I was like 19 at the time, right? Just young and innocent. And he went, "Mind your own fucking business." Welcome back to Maturing Cheddar episode 14, bringing you a variety of cross-Atlantic viewpoints from the UK and US about this weird and wonderful world that we live in. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at Maturing Cheddar. Today's podcast is all about money. Enjoy. Yeah, I was watching this documentary the other day about Scandinavian countries, Sweden, I think. They were talking about there is like this big taboo about money, how if you're rich in like Sweden, it's almost like embarrassing to be rich. Like you won't tell anyone that you're rich.
What, like rich compared to people you live with, or rich compared to the rest of the world?
Just rich compared to people within their country.
Because aren't the Scandinavian countries like notoriously like expensive anyway, compared to a lot of other countries?
Yeah. Okay, so the standard of living there is higher.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had a distribution curve of income in the Scandinavian countries, it'd be like tighter, smaller variance compared to the US, for example, or the UK.
I can't say I've really met a rich. I have met a rich Swedish person actually. He walked off a private jet. So yeah, I met him and he was a super nice guy. He was like down to earth, really nice guy, approachable and everything. Was he? He wasn't boasting about his money, but it wasn't exactly, private jet's not an easy thing to hide, is it?
No.
So it's kind of like, yeah, nice jet. But yeah, I remember him actually. He wanted to get off of that subject and talking about the other cool and exciting things that were in that area. We're in a hangar, rather than talking about his own personal belongings. So yeah, maybe maybe that documentary's got weight. I mean,
the reason they don't like talking about wealth, they're kind of embarrassed, is because there's this cultural code. There's a word for it, and it's called jantilagen. I don't know if that is how you pronounce it.
100%.
Jantelagen. Jantilagen. Jantlagen. And it's some deep-rooted cultural code that just stops people talking about their own wealth. It's like kind of rude to talk about how much you earn, and people apparently will try and live a more modest lifestyle in terms of like their cars they buy. They won't buy lots of flashy cars. So it's just more of a cultural thing in that country.
Interesting, because it sort of seems, I don't know if we've got the same word for it in the UK, but there is a bit of a similar cultural or societal view on money, and that, yeah, it's a bit taboo. You don't really speak about your wage. That's definitely like private for most people. But then like beyond, society can just be like, it almost feels like put off around topics to do with money. And especially when it comes to like making life decisions around it. Like it's so key to everyone. I've often heard like money makes the world go round, but making a decision which is money focused or money prioritized seems to be like the root of all evil in other people's minds, and like you're shunned for it. So it's definitely a weird one, because it's hard to have a life without it.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think it is taboo? Why won't people tell other people their income?
I think it's an immediate source of like division and segregation. So if you take like, it's the easiest way in numbers to like segregate people from like maybe like a class, or like my number's bigger than your numbers, therefore I'm better than you. And it creates that like view in people's heads, which then propagates segregation in society, which is bad. So I think maybe that's why, because the moment someone knows, or someone thinks they know they earn more than me, they're going to think they're better than me. So it's like hiding that, and not wanting people to have that view of you.
Also, you could become a target, couldn't you? I guess. Like,
yeah,
you don't know, just because the person you tell might not directly like harm you in any way or cause you any problems. They might tell someone else, and that might spread. You never know who that's going to reach. Might end up. What's the film with Denzel Washington? Man on Fire, isn't it? Where it's just one of several, I'm guessing, films where a kid gets kidnapped from a rich family in a developing country where you've got a diplomat or an important, powerful, wealthy person who's got a child who has a routine and just gets kidnapped one day, held for ransom kind of thing.
Money drives or can drive like bad actions in order to gain more. I think that propagates a view of root of evil. It forces people to like act negatively for it because there's so much focus on obtaining more and more of it.
If you win the lottery,
yeah,
would you tell people that you won the lottery?
No.
Don't they announce it?
No. You can keep it anonymous.
Yeah, I don't think I'd tell people as well. Not anyone outside my circle, kind of thing.
I feel like it would. If you told some people, it would like get out somehow.
Yeah, you got no control of them.
I guess it would be tough because if you win like $20 million,
yeah,
like unless you don't really spend much of it,
yeah, it'd be hard to hide that type of money.
You change your lifestyle, people are gonna notice, aren't they?
Even a couple extra holidays or
yeah.
Changing the wardrobe slightly, people be like, "Oh, that's different."
They notice stuff. Yeah, people do notice stuff. Even in the last couple of years, I've changed my lifestyle because I changed a couple of things that I was doing in terms of like opportunities that have arisen, and people I wouldn't say are in maybe at the periphery of my circle, or definitely what I'm influenced by professionally or just like outside my friend's circle. They've noticed. It's like, it's just interesting. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting to note that someone brings it up. And you're like, okay, you've noticed. It doesn't mean I have to answer and say what's going off, but it's interesting that you've noticed. People, I guess people are like we're pattern finding machines, aren't we? And money's just like a really important pattern in people's life. You like people to settle down so that you understand where you fit into society. I mean, what I was going to say is, what do you think of rich people? Because actors, for example, actors apparently get their salaries, don't they, published? You can go on online now that I can literally search for it, can't I?
Well, you can see how much you get paid for.
Yeah.
Like
salaries.
Yeah, like Big Bang Theory, right? You see, like they get paid like $1 million per episode or something ridiculous.
Something like that. List of highest paid film actors, literally on Wikipedia. Keanu Reeves in 2003, salary $30 million.
On how accurate it is?
Wow.
If it's from an accurate source or someone's estimating that.
Robert Downey Jr. $20 million for Avengers Endgame. I mean, it's got they've got references, so you can go and check them out. But I mean, I'm not saying they're accurate. I'm just saying film actors, their salaries get posted eventually for each film because it is public. I think they have to. You can easily find it. They have to publish it, and how do you think they feel?
Yeah, well, if you're
It's
going
kind of
into
part of the
career where
business.
you have no choice over it, it's going to come out.
And I guess that's why they would live pretty guarded lives, right? It's part
I feel
of the
like
reason.
people know they earn a lot of money anyway, right? So people probably think they earn like tens of millions a year anyway. So it's just confirming what people probably already know.
Yeah, but your disposition towards them, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, it's an interesting one because, as you pointed out, Lewis, like people in maybe the peripheral of your circle picked up maybe some lifestyle changes or some changes in like what you're doing, which could be associated with like a change in an income or a change in like financial position, and that's like your peripheral circle. Whereas these actors have like no control over peripheral circle versus just complete wider community and strangers knowing exactly what they have. And then like the expectation on like how they live their lives because of it. Like the moment people know you've got more money, should you be driving a nicer car, should you be in a nicer house? Because I think of like Warren Buffett lives in like the same house for, decades and has a McDonald's, breakfast every morning. He lives in some ways quite frugally, but there could be an expectation there for someone like him to live more extravagantly.
Yo, him dog.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
It is definitely a taboo subject, and I think I remember reading or seeing an advert from Lloyd's. They said, "Oh, we have conversations about almost everything, but we never say money." And if you look at a lot of problems that relationships or not only just romantic, but your family run into, it's definitely a big taboo subject, and no one likes to talk about it, like for the same reason where people feel more inferior. I think partly it's maybe potentially an English thing.
I don't know. I feel like in America, right, people don't talk about salaries in America.
They're not. Oh,
like it would just be rude to ask someone how much they earn.
You don't think they'd tell you though if you ask them?
It's like risky, isn't it, to ask them? Because you don't know how they're going to react. Because some people will get really offended.
I definitely wouldn't ask a stranger.
Do you remember, Ryan, when you told me a story when you were trying to find out how much that ICAP trader earned? And they said, mind your own.
Yeah, I was like working at, it was like a little 1 week internship on like a trading floor. And I asked this guy how much commission he makes on his trades. I was like 19 at the time, right? Just young and innocent. And he went, "What's your own fucking business?" This was like, everyone was standing up and they were just like shouting and swearing at each other. It was like abuse. It was like what you see on the films.
Stock brokerage is an interesting environment.
Yeah, like I didn't think it would actually be like that, but it was. It was high octane.
That's a good way to describe it, man. Political.
I mean, what would you guys do if some person on the street came up to you and was just like, "How much do you earn?"
I'd just say I'm a student.
Yeah, same. I'd be like, "I'm a student. I'm like, I live on the poverty line. My paycheck to paycheck."
I just say I'm a student, and they just go, "Oh, they don't like."
And then you start getting abused because they're like, "I pay taxes, and that goes towards funding."
No, they don't follow up anymore. It doesn't seem they don't care. It's just like, oh yeah, okay. They've got an opinion about you either way. Like you said, whether it's the opinion you was talking about or the one that Ryan was describing, they either think you're really poor and you're just scraping by and you're looking for deals all the time, or that you're loving it and you're just blowing it on bloody alcohol, booze, or whatever. So those people, like, whatever, I don't care. Don't matter, does it? Why do I need to change your mind about what I earn? Yeah. I said I'm a student, and they just went, all right, okay, yeah. They made a snap decision and just went, this is how you live.
It's like a loaded question. There's automatically going to be a number in their head which they think above or below that gives me a certain view on.
Yeah.
You're making it by, you're okay, I don't like you anymore, potentially.
I mean, that's a funny one, actually. They're getting onto that. Like, when you say to someone, instead of asking them what money do you earn, you kind of make a judgment about the money they earn based on their job, right? So, engineer in America, I mean, it's interesting discussing this because I was discussing it with a friend today. Like, an engineer in America makes bank, right? Makes a lot more money than they do in the UK, on average. No doubt about it. Much more valued. I'm not saying it's all of a sudden on par with certain other professions in America. But just comparing engineers to America, engineers to the UK, they are substantially more compensated. So, yeah, I mean, you can make a snap judgment. I've had snap judgments made. If I'm in America and I say, oh, I'm studying, blah, 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 engineering, they go, oh, wow, you're going to be so rich. And I'm like, what? No, I'm not, because I'm actually a British student. It's going to be like a decent wage, but for the hours you put in, I don't know. Don't know if your compensation is worth it. There's a lot easier ways to earn that money.
Is it Ryan? Correct me if I'm wrong. In America, do people generally get paid more? Because that's the consensus I get when I talk to Americans or see American salaries. For in comparison to the UK, you get paid more for the same job, but that's because they don't get as much benefits. For example, education, healthcare.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely get paid more. Like, I speak to undergrads, and undergrads, they're not happy if they're earning under like $50,000 for a job straight out of university, and that's like £35,000. And some of the top jobs in England when you come out of undergrad is like £35,000, £40,000, right? Those are like some of the top earning jobs. You get paid more. The reason, I don't know, cost of living. I think the cost of living here is higher than in England. Like food, I think costs more here. And then the benefits. Huh? Oh, higher than London.
Higher than London.
I mean, probably not higher than London. Like extreme case, I guess. But on average, cost of living probably a bit higher. Health benefits are just not there. And also, vacation time they're pretty stingy with vacation in America. It's like 10 days of vacation you get. Something like this, on average, for a firm. So you get like 25 days in England.
Yeah, you do. You get a lot more of a holiday allocation, vacation allocation. And then you get like added bank holidays and public holidays on top of that. So I think it's probably totally around a year, maybe up around 30, somewhere between 30 and 35 days you get off. If you've got like a 25-day holiday allowance, I think it's up to 10 like additional holidays provided.
That's good. Yeah, but one thing I think in America, I feel like they value what Lewis was saying. I think they value like higher education more than in England. Like the premium of having like a master's versus a bachelor's and a PhD versus a master's, those premiums that you get in wage in the US, I feel like is more than you get in the UK. Like for example, if you have a PhD and you go into academia in the US, professors get paid like way more than in the UK, and their salaries are public knowledge. For example, at my University of Washington, it's like a public university, so every professor's salary is posted, so you can just go online and see it. So you have like econ professors earning like $200,000 to $300,000. In the UK, they would earn about like a third of that.
Probably agree with that, to be honest, from an academic point of view.
So that's something like I had like a topic to touch on. It's like, what does money really mean to us, whether personally or like from your industry point of view? Because as I said, you were touching on before, like the engineering in America. So in like finance as an industry, engineering as an industry, and like academia as an industry, sort of what's the general consensus around it, and what does it mean to that industry? Some of the thoughts I had initially were, so finance, it's all about money. Everything is dollar sign driven, and in some ways you can sort of feel or become oblivious to like the real value of money and what numbers really mean, because you're dealing with every day hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. So when the government comes out and says we've got a 10-year plan with $5 billion infrastructure development, you understand that because you can see how the numbers get broke down over time. But day-to-day life, what does £1 billion actually look like stacked up, or $1 billion? It can be a bit alienating, I think, for most of the population who don't deal with numbers that big. It just doesn't mean anything to them. So I think I was having that like thought around, like, or not, has money just became, and the volume of it, so distant to a lot of people that it doesn't mean anything for them. In engineering, I was thinking like money, in a way, like, is it a means to an end, because it enables you to create things and actually be productive and produce things that impact people's lives positively. So engineering, like, what it does is much more than just money. It's it, like, drags the world forward with developments.
So are you talking about money from not from a personal point of view, but from a industrial point of view?
Yeah, kind of like within like
What?
your industry or your area,
All right. Okay.
what it means.
Money's still everything in engineering, and like you said, finance. Money's everything. Buys you more tools, buys you more skill, especially in the Western world, where you have a system where basically, the more skilled people generally cost more to attract. Money's one differentiator that you can use, right, to attract one person from where they are and relocate them to your company. It's not many other powers a company has, really, other than money. And then in the in the sector, yeah, like I said, you can buy better tools. That might mean software, whether you're in fintech or financial tech or engineering, manufacturing, etc. Yeah, it could be hardware, machinery. Yeah, raw materials all cost money at the end of the day. Where does the book stop?
In my head, with like yourselves doing PhDs, and like I see you on like the forefront of like knowledge and information, like as a sphere. I remember seeing this diagram on like your PhDs pushing through the boundary of like what is knowledge to give us a bit more, so you're growing it. So you're very much on like the forefront of that pursuit of knowledge and dragging the world forward into knowing and having more. And so for me, it's like, is money the ultimate goal, or is it like a pursuit of knowledge? Because in the public eye, like NHS in the UK has always spoke about like the health services, and we've got friends who are like doctors and stuff, and here anyway, like you don't become a nurse or a doctor because it's going to fill the bank account, especially in the early years. It's going to take a long time to get the consultant level before you start seeing a financial difference. So it's whether it takes a different type of person or a different goal in life is why you're choosing that career. And I think money's so central to so many things, but just in your areas, was it the main priority, or is it there's more for yourselves as to what drives your industries or your like sectors?
Right. Okay. So that way of putting it is more personal, isn't it? So for me, first and foremost, I enjoy researching stuff and having time to like think about problems. But to have that time to think about problems, you need to get paid enough that you're comfortable in the environment you live in. Eat well, sleep well, have a good social life, I guess, etc., to enable you to perform at your best when you are thinking about problems and coming up with solutions, I guess. So yeah, that's the first and foremost. Personally, I wouldn't go into engineering. I wouldn't recommend engineering if you wanted to make money and you could get an education, because like you could probably, if money was your ultimate objective, then you'd probably go a different route and try and head up the business, and that might be one, a business might be in engineering, but your skills might not be in engineering. You might just have some knowledge around it. Yeah. So for me, it's more about having enough money to be comfortable about the problem you're faced with. So as you move up within a company and you get more and more responsibility, now your compensation may get higher because the responsibility you have may increase stress levels, it may increase workload, may increase X, Y, Z, and therefore the breaks you may need instead of like working, let's just say 9 to 5 every day, and then 5 o'clock and weekends you can just switch off. Now it might be an all-consuming job where for months on end you're 24/7 thinking about the work, but then there might be a month, 2 month period where you're able, okay, the project's ended, I need to have a break. Well, I need to have been paid quite a lot of money so I can take those 2 months off and go and have some rest and relaxation on a ski slope or on a beach, to balance out the workload and the relaxation, make sure they come back down to a level. So yeah, I'm not, in short, I think from my point of view, money's got to give me enough comfort to be able to focus on my job just like everyone else. That's not unique, but at the same time I'm not totally void of a bit of greed and saying, well, if I get more responsibility, I expect more money, I guess, because with money I can do other things. What do you think, Ryan?
I don't know, money for me, I think when I was younger I was all about just trying to go into the industry where I can make as much money as possible. And then as I've aged, obviously money is still a big factor. If you're looking at my utility function, it gives me utility, but I'm trying to get money so I can find the path to something that I really enjoy. So at the moment, as long as I have enough money to find a career or find something that I wake up and I look forward to doing, then that's all that really matters to me at the moment. As opposed to just getting a well-paying job that I don't enjoy. Sounds a bit hipster, don't it?
Are you going to become an artist? You never know.
No, I mean, so I say that. I say money is just so I can find something that I enjoy doing. But I see myself doing something that I enjoy, but which makes a lot of money as well. Oh yeah, I guess that's what everyone wants, right? But
yeah, it's essentially what I said. I guess that's why
it's just hard because I'm always worried about just going into something that I don't enjoy, that pays a lot, and then 10, 15 years down the line, I look back and I'm like, I missed some crucial time that I could have gone down a different path and tried different opportunities. Sorry. I saw a video of this guy and he said, when you're in your early 20s, the next 5 years of your life are the most important years of your life, because those are the years which you can afford to make mistakes and you can afford to try and do loads of different things and for them not to work. Because once you get past that stage and you get to 30 or whatever, and you get married and you have children, then you have responsibilities and you can't afford to make those mistakes anymore. So it's best to make those, try different things whilst you can, and when you can afford just for it to go all wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like Santo too, the topics came up a few times, or the cost of living. Once you can sufficiently support yourself, then there's a decision between, do I want to accumulate more and more and more, or do I want to pursue something different? So provided you're above a threshold where you can live comfortably, money then it becomes not so much the sole focus, but a means to achieving something else. Whereas I guess if you're below that threshold, it is everything, because you quite literally need it to survive.
This has been Maturing Cheddar with episode 14. Don't forget to find us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at Maturing Cheddar. Hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. See you next week.